Welcome to Bonnie's Beat. I'm your host, Bonnie Squires. We're coming to you from Radnor Studio 21 in the heart of downtown Wayne. We like to interview people who are doing good things in the community, whether it's for charity, academia, sports, politics. And today we have an interesting guest whom I've known for a long time. His name is Brandon Morrison, and in his professional life, he's a vice president for something important at Janney Montgomery Scott. And in his volunteer life, he's on the executive committee and the regional board of the Anti-Defamation League. And he's the chairman of this year's ADL Walk Against Hate, which is May 15th, a Sunday, 2015. Hi, Brandon. Welcome.
Hi, Bonnie. Thank you for having me.
Did you volunteer to chair the walk, or they said, you're it, this is your number came up this year, Brandon?
I did volunteer. I've been involved with the walk ever since the beginning 5 years ago. And just as a result of natural progression, this year was the right year for me to step into the role and to lead the charge.
Now, describe what the Walk Against Hate actually is and what it does, because there are a lot of pieces. It's not just people gather and they walk and they have teams and they raise money.
Sure.
There are a lot of pieces to it.
Sure, there are. And the ADL's Walk Against Hate is a very special event, and it's quickly becoming the region's largest multicultural event and festival. And it's designed to be all-inclusive, and it's designed to bring out and unite the Philadelphia region against something that we unfortunately have all been touched or affected by, which is hate. And there are multiple elements to the event. There is the centerpiece of the event, which is our Diversity Expo, where we have 25 to 30 nonprofit organizations whose mission or missions align with that of the ADL or the walk. We have...
Well, list some of the agencies and organizations that participate in the Diversity Expo.
Organizations such as Congresso, such as Equality PA, Girls Incorporated, the Free Library of Philadelphia, and several others. We expect to have somewhere between 25 and 30, and it's a really, really unique it's a very, very unique expo. It gives each of these nonprofits the opportunity to set up a booth and to share the material that they bring with them and interact with their audience, with those who are in attendance, and to talk to them about their organization, what they stand for, what they do, and how the individual who's interested can get involved, can get engaged.
How many people participated in the walk last year in 2014?
Approximately 1,800.
1,800. That's a lot of bodies for a Sunday.
It is, but we can do more. We can do better. And the great thing about the walk is that each year we've seen truly exponential growth, both in terms of our fundraising and our attendance. And this year, in our 5th year, we are really on course to truly be successful in all areas and in all areas of the walk and against all of the goals that we have outlined for this year.
Now, the Walk Against Hate, there are a lot of components of the ADL, what they do in the course of a year. And one of the major things they do is to get schools and school districts across the state to get involved in a program called, what do they call it?
No Place for Hate.
No Place for Hate. And it's like a year-long program where the school district has to get everybody involved, the parents, the teachers, the staff members, and the students. And then there's a big celebration when they've passed all the milestones.
Absolutely.
And they've got to plan some kind of event that incorporates the mission of the Anti-Defamation League, which is to wipe out all kinds of isms.
Absolutely.
Racism, sexism, all kinds of isms. And ADL's been a leader. And also, ADL, although it was founded more than 100 years ago, because we had a huge year-long 100th anniversary celebration, the original mission was to stamp out anti-Semitism. But that has grown to incorporate anti-Muslim, anti-Islam, anti-immigrant.
Anti-everything.
Anti-everything, because people come to the ADL, they call the ADL when they've got a problem with prejudice in their community.
Absolutely.
And Brandon knows this firsthand because his father, Barry Morrison, for about 25 years was the executive director of the Pennsylvania region.
That's right.
So you were there when he got a lot of those phone calls, right?
I was. I was.
And especially after 9/11. Talk about some of the problems that ADL tackled after 9/11, especially on campuses.
Sure. Well, post 9/11, and unfortunately in the world that we live, we live in a world where not everybody is accepting, and not everyone is aware of people's backgrounds. And so, the ADL truly serves to educate, increase awareness, and to support and advocate for diversity, inclusion, acceptance, and to really create and to build a path towards a better world, a better community, a better state, a better nation, a better world.
There were examples. I remember there was one on Temple University's campus, which hurt my heart because I worked at Temple for so many years, although well, my degrees are from Penn, where students were really ganging up on Muslim students. Like they were holding them responsible for the attacks on the World Trade Center.
Which is not true.
And it was the ADL that rose to the challenge of meeting with the president of the university and holding some seminars and trying to teach awareness and acceptance, as you said, of inclusion. But there were a lot of examples across the country, and especially in our region, of prejudice. It's based on ignorance.
It is. It is. Lack of understanding, lack of education, and that's where the ADL comes in. The ADL serves to educate, to raise awareness, and to really bring people together and to really keep that dream alive of tomorrow being a better day than it is today.
Abe Foxman, the longtime national executive director, was in Philly recently and spoke to ADL. And one of the things he always points out is that it was a Jewish hater that assassinated Yitzhak Rabin. It wasn't somebody who was an Arab or a Muslim who wasn't an outsider. It was an Israeli who was a hater. So hate comes in all varieties, all forms, and there's no community that's exempt for that.
There's not.
Then there's some other program that the ADL runs, which is for archdiocesan teachers, for Catholic school teachers. And they teach them how to use a Holocaust curriculum and incorporate it into English language skills and history and social studies and so on. And that way they reach tens of thousands of students through the teachers. They also take them to the Holocaust Museum in Washington, D.C. Have you been?
I have. I was there years ago. It's a tremendous experience, and it's touching and it's beyond words. What you see and the emotion that experience elicits.
My husband has leg braces and a cane, and when we went there, when it was first being dedicated, and we saw the exhibit where they had all the canes and all the braces, that really touched us personally,
Well, for me, I visited the 9/11 Memorial and Museum late last year, and for me, both experiences evoked similar responses, similar reactions, and similar emotions. It's very sobering, and it leaves you with a feeling of appreciation for for living in a democratic state, and also the realization that there is a price tag on freedom, and that we just can't sit by and be apathetic when it comes to the community and community engagement and speaking out and responding to actions of hate and bigotry. We have to be engaged. We have to be active. We have to stand up as a community, and we have to walk against hate, and we have to speak out against hate, and we have to do it peacefully and through education and awareness and bringing the community together.
One of the interesting things and it was probably one of your father's pet projects, was to create partnerships with other different religious groups in the community. And I know I was part of a team that went to meet with an imam, and, you know, who was so enlightened and so ecumenical. And his wife even cooked lunch for us. I mean, it was terrific.
Right.
You know?
And that's what the Walk Against Hate celebrates, diversity. Across the Diversity Expo, you see that. We have representations, or organizations representing very different membership.
I think Project Home is one of the...
Project Home,
Yes.
BPSOS, which is a Vietnamese American nonprofit that supports Vietnamese individuals and their communities. There are several black nonprofits who we are speaking to, Cambodian, Chinese. This is truly an event for everybody, and it's truly a celebration of Philadelphia. For me, this event has and is becoming larger than Philadelphia. I'm sorry, larger than the ADL, and it's becoming an event that celebrates Philadelphia. And that's why we really want to grow the attendance. We have tremendous support from the corporate community. We have over 50 corporate sponsors and growing. We're on track to raise $500,000. Our entertainment lineup is tremendously robust and tremendously exciting. We have entertainment on the main stage, everything from fire breathers to salsa dancers, in-crowd entertainment, everything from an internationally known ice sculptor to jugglers and balloon artists and face painters, to an element which I'm very excited about this year, which is along the physical walk path.
Where does it start? Where do people gather?
The people gather at the Schuylkill riverbanks, and there is a physical walk, and that physical walk is 1.5 miles up to Swedesbriar and then back to the Schuylkill riverbanks. And this year, more so than any other year, we're really leveraging the actual physical walk path. And so beyond murals along the wall that supports 76 as you walk Martin Luther King Drive, where there will be images from artists reflective of how the vision of the walk and mission of the ADL speaks to them, there will be amplified and acoustic entertainment. We have bands, we have DJs, we have an R&B medley, we have Irish bagpipers and Japanese drummers. And so we really want people to be excited and energized and feel great about this experience.
If people are going to drive, where do they park, and then where do they walk to sign in and register?
Sure. So there's...
And what time's it called for?
So the...
Let's put the information on the screen. The ADL Walk Against Hate, Sunday, May 17th, and you can find everything about it, www.walkagainsthate.org.
And the event is from 11 to 2 o'clock. So from 11 to 1, there will be the Diversity Expo, the in-crowd entertainment, and the main stage entertainment. And from 1 to 2 o'clock, we walk, and we walk united, we walk together. In terms of parking, obviously Martin Luther King Drive will be closed because there will be 2,000 plus walkers in yellow t-shirts snaking down Martin Luther King Drive, which is unbelievable to see and experience. And there's plenty of parking in and around Martin Luther King Drive. But the Schuylkill riverbanks, if you are right in front of the Art Museum, is right at the opening of Martin Luther King Drive from the Benjamin Franklin Parkway. It's not difficult to find. Just look for everybody in yellow.
Will it be balloons or
there will be
banners
balloons
or
and
something?
balloon arches, and there will be volunteers in and around the Art Museum and the opening to Martin Luther King Drive, directing foot traffic. There will be signage because people know where the event is, but we really want to encourage and to help people find their way.
Now, because it's May 17th, that's 2 days before the Pennsylvania primary election.
Yes.
I suspect there may be a lot of politicians that will show up on May 17th.
I would suspect that that's a strong possibility as well.
Are there some elected people who are safe already? Is the mayor going to come, or any senators or state legislators? Are they involved yet?
You know, there are many leaders, both in the
city council,
in the private and public domain, who we are encouraging to participate in this event because, like I said, this is all about Philadelphia. And so we want Philadelphia to be fully represented. And so we're encouraging them to join us in this tremendous experience. And we hope that they come out.
When we say Philadelphia, it's not just Philadelphia because ADL represents the Southeast Pennsylvania region, but also South Jersey.
And Delaware.
And Delaware. So it's all the suburbs
Absolutely.
that ring Philadelphia. And it's Cherry Hill and whatever, Voorhees. And then it's Wilmington. And,
Right.
and there are board members from all those
There are.
places as well.
And even though I'm referring to it as a Philadelphia event, to your point, it very much is an event about the region. So it is Philadelphia, Delaware, and Southern Jersey, the region and the markets that this particular office represents.
What's the favorite activity that you've ever been involved in with ADL through the years? Because from cradle to now, you grew up with ADL in your blood.
I was born into it,
Yes.
absolutely, but growing up, my parents allowed me to pave my own way, and they didn't pressure me to get involved they encouraged me to get involved, but not in any particular area. And I didn't really become active in the ADL until about 5 years ago, when I literally woke up one day and said, I want my life to be more meaningful, and I want it to be more about what I've done in my professional career, because I believe personally that we, as individuals and as institutions, we have a civic responsibility and duty, whether we want to accept it or not, to take ownership for our community, to be active in our community, to improve the quality of our community, and to be part of the effort to achieve that dream of a better day, of a better tomorrow.
Where did you grow up?
It's a good question. So, given my father's career and his career path, starting out with the B'nai B'rith and then working his way through and up the ADL, I was born in Omaha, Nebraska.
Nobody's born in Nebraska.
I was born in
except
Omaha,
Johnny
Nebraska.
Carson.
And me. And me. We lived in New Jersey for a short while, and then we moved to Havertown, which is a suburb of Philadelphia. We lived there till I was 8. Then when I was 8, we moved to Chicago. My father and the family moved to Chicago for my father to be the regional director for Chicago. I was there till I was 12, and then they recruited him back to Philadelphia. And so most of my youth from 12 onward was spent in King of Prussia Gulf Mills. And from there, I went to Franklin Marshall College in Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
What did you major in at Franklin and Marshall?
I was a business major, and I was a government minor with a concentration in anthropology.
Anthropology. Oh, when I look at the Help Wanted ads every Sunday, there are a lot of ads for anthropologists.
I know. I found it to be a very interesting subject matter, but not something that I wanted to specialize in or build a career around.
Are you going to pursue an MBA or?
That's in the plan. It's a function of making and finding the right time, balancing my professional career with my civic engagement. It's something that I want to do, and something that eventually I will find time to do.
What do you do at Janney Montgomery Scott?
So for Janney Montgomery Scott, I am their corporate services manager. It's a fancy way of saying that I oversee several administrative departments that support the operations of the firm. Janney is the largest regional financial services firm headquartered in Philadelphia. We provide comprehensive financial advice to individual, corporate, and institutional clients. Our headquarters is at the intersection of 18th and Arch Street. We occupy 147,000 square feet, and we have 110. Yes, we have 110 branch offices up and down the East Coast. So the administrative departments that I oversee support the entire enterprise. Everything from real estate management and development to facilities management, purchasing management, imaging and records, mail services. We stay busy.
What kind of communication device do you use? Because I assume you have to be available 24/7.
Absolutely. I am available 24/7, and I use an iPhone.
I'm a BlackBerry user.
Okay.
if they still made the initial thing, which was the trio, I would still have that.
Okay.
But they keep phasing things out. And I love my BlackBerry. I tried an iPad,
Okay.
but I discovered I'd have to have an engineering degree to figure
Okay.
out how to use it.
See if I can persuade you to cross over.
My best friend got an iPad, but she can't figure out how to answer the phone. She's always accidentally blocking phone
Okay.
numbers. She just, it gives her a lot of grief. But she likes to have the latest.
Of course, it's cool.
Yeah, the latest thing. My BlackBerry, this one is about 6 months old. I'm sticking with BlackBerry.
Okay.
Every time there's a rumor that they may be phasing out, I say, please God, don't let them phase out my BlackBerry, because I've got my whole business in my BlackBerry.
I know.
And it has a keyboard that I like.
Okay.
Because it's a physical keyboard. It's not just pictures on a screen.
Okay. Well, if you want to explore a transition to the iPhone side of the world, just let me know.
Okay. Do you have time for a personal life?
Sure.
It sounds as if you're so busy between your volunteer life and your professional life that you wouldn't have time for a personal life.
Well, I've gotten to the point where I've realized that my professional life, my personal life, the work that I do civically, all just kind of melds together. The days run into the nights, the weekdays into the weekends, and that's absolutely fine. I'm passionate about life, and I'm passionate about my professional career, my personal life, my civic work, and so I enjoy it. And I'm motivated by the challenge of, how do I do more? How can I do more? How can I be more engaged? How can I be more involved? I shared with you my mantra on, my view on civic responsibility, and so I don't feel that there's I don't feel there's any shortage of opportunity, and that there's any limitation to how much we can do.
Do you have a significant other currently?
Do I have a significant other currently? I'm seeing somebody.
Okay. Does that person have to have the same passion about serving the community as you have?
It's not a requirement.
Would be nice.
Typically, I was raised by and grew up around very beautiful women. My mother, my sister, my grandmothers, beautiful in terms of who they were as a person and inwardly, not externally. So what I look for is that same or similar beauty in a match, and in the people that I try to, the people that I surround myself with.
Okay.
Positive people, positive energy, who want to do good things.
Well, I know your father must be thrilled that you've decided to put so much energy into an organization that he has loved for decades.
I think, well, I believe, I know that he and my mother and the balance of my family, they're proud that I'm involved with the ADL and beyond the ADL. And to some degree, I don't do it for that reason. I do it because I believe in the cause, and I view myself as a catalyst for transformative change. I very much believe in civil rights and human relations, and the ADL has given me a platform and a voice to inspire and to be that facilitator of change. But it doesn't stop there. There are other areas of the community that I like to get involved with, and that I like to support as well.
Let's put that information on the screen again about the ADL Walk Against Hate. It's on Sunday, May 17th, 2015, www.walkagainsthate.org. You can enter the website, you can sign up a team, you can make a pledge, you can make a donation, and you get a T-shirt when you show up.
You do get a T-shirt. You do get a T-shirt. And
where's the actual starting point? Where do people have to physically be to sign in?
the Schuylkill Riverbanks is where we have a registration table. So you can register in advance at www.walkagainsthate.org, or you can walk up and register the day of. And what we really want and truly want people to do is not only register, but build teams, because we want teams of people at this event. We want the community at large at this event, and we are not going to be successful as a community if just one or two or three people or a handful of people are really promoting the walk and engagement. This is about the community. So we need the community collectively to be unified and to join in the effort.
Let's talk about another relationship that ADL has nurtured through the years, and that's with the Philadelphia Police Department. You want to talk about that?
They have a tremendous relationship with the Philadelphia Police Department and mutual respect on either side. They've become very strong partners, and the ADL provides education and training to police officers. I believe annually the ADL hosts a collection of the Philadelphia Police Department officers in a trip to Washington to visit the
U.S. Holocaust Memorial
the
Museum.
Holocaust Museum, and the Philadelphia Police Department often calls on the ADL when there are issues of race or issues of bigotry, of prejudice, for their advice and guidance. And so they've over the years formed a very strong bond and relationship and partnership, which is great to see.
Well, the African American community always realized that they've got a friend in the ADL. When they're, and unfortunately, there are a lot of examples currently about prejudice from the police against the African American community, even when the policemen themselves are members of the African American community. Ramsey was very honest and open when he went public with the report from the Department of Justice.
He was.
And made recommendations what needs to change, although they had already started implementing some changes even before the report came down.
Yeah, and it's not, you mentioned the ADL as a friend, and it just doesn't stop at the Jewish community or the black community. Everybody has a friend in the ADL, and they have very strong relationships with the Jewish community, black community, the LGBT community, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
The ADL also has a lot of lawyers.
They do. We
and
do.
Judges on the board.
We do.
And often files amicus curiae briefs with the state Supreme Court, with the United States Supreme Court. I don't remember, one of your father's other legacies is to make sure that his deputy director, Nancy Barron Bear, who's an attorney, who worked side by side with him for decades, that she stepped up to the plate when he retired, and she became the executive director.
And she has.
And she's wonderful.
She is wonderful.
She brings the Barry Morrison, Brandon Morrison passion every day, 24 hours a day, to the job. She really does.
She does, and the leadership and the staff across all disciplines of the ADL in Philadelphia is truly tremendous. They've got a really wonderful collaborative team, really working together and and doing great work.
And we've got Andy Goldman, who's another mainliner.
He is.
Who is a longtime board member. He's currently the president.
He is.
And there's been a host of people, Barry Brownstein.
Bernie Brownstein.
Bernie
right?
Brownstein. I think Bernie's going to be honored in June. There's going to be a dinner.
Along with
he
Mark
and his
Kaplan.
son. Yeah, and and Mark Kaplan, who was another past president of the board. And they've had a couple of women presidents also.
Of course we have.
Not too many, but they've had a couple, And they have a number of women on the board who are very active these days. Anyway, well, our guest today has been Brandon Morrison, and he's chairing the ADL Walk Against Hate. And we hope to see a lot of you on Sunday, May 17th at the Schuylkill Riverbanks for the Diversity Expo and the entertainment and the education and the walk.
Absolutely.
And you get a T-shirt, and you're contributing to a very good cause.
Absolutely.
Brandon, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I'll see you on Sunday, May 17th.
Okay.